Everybody, welcome back to the Bando Boy Riding channel. Today's video we're going to be doing is my 9th coin roll hunt results video. Now I know that I said in the last video where I showed off the coin roll hunt that not really going to make a video about the results unless there's something that's particularly good about it, because usually you find a couple wheat cents or a couple pieces of copper or whatever, and it's really not much more to talk about. But I think I am going to start doing that because one of the things I do here on this channel is numismatics, so it's just good to document that every once in a while, every time I hunt, so that's what we're going to do. So this will be my 9th coin roll hunt, not 9th coin roll hunt where I've hunted a whole box. I've done individual rolls before that I've gotten. But I've hunted 1 box of nickels and 8 boxes of pennies. This is going to be our 8th box of pennies here. And then, yeah, so here we have our book with all of our finds on it. So, we're going to start off with the best stuff. We didn't find no Indian head cents or anything this time. That's why I made that video last time. That's why I said I made it, because we found the Indian head cent, and that's what made the box extraordinary. Didn't find anything other than the stuff that you see here, but I'm still going to be making a video to document about that. And there's a couple things that we need to be showing here. So, along our these little stacks, as you can see here, might be better to turn it that way. Yeah, right here we have. Running down the line here, this is all of our copper that I took. And like I said before, in videos before, I take all copper coins from 1959 through 1969. I don't take any after that, just because that would be too much, and I don't really need all that. I just keep it because copper's a slightly valuable metal, so I just keep that. So that's that. We collected 101. I collected 101 copper coins. This is 99 of them, starting at 1959 and going down the line all the way until 1969. Our most prominent dates were 1964 and 1969. The other two, excuse me, were a very stellar condition. 1960 D, very good condition. That's not going to be going with the rest of the copper. Then we have also very good condition 1963 D, 1963 D. So we have those. That's our copper. Our wheat cent count is 17. And that's going to be these stacks here. I'm going to line them up along the edge so we can visualize those. This is a little bit of unusual, our wheat cent situation for this box here, and I'll explain why. So these are our 3 stacks of wheat cents here. We have our 30s, our 40s, and our 50s. Right off the bat, we notice that the 30s stack is the highest, and this is unusual because usually when you find your wheat cent, you go through your wheat cent count at the end of your box, you most often see that the 40s and 50s ones are higher, and then if you find the 30s wheat cents, you only have 1 or 2. Well, this was actually a quite unusual box. I actually found 8 wheat cents from the 30s. So I found 3 from 1930. 2 from 1937, 1 from 1936, and 1 from 1938. So that, we found 3 1930s, 2 37s, 1 36, and 1 38. Okay. Our 40s, we found 6 of those. Or actually, we found 7 30s, not 8. But we found 6 40s. That's going to be a 44, a 49, 46, a 41, another 41, and a 1940. I believe I found two 46s. And then we only have 4 from the 50s. So we have a 53, a 57, a 50, a 52, a 57D, and a 52D. That totals out to 17. So this usually find about 13 to 15 or so. So this was a little bit on the higher side, so it's a good box for that. Coming over here to this end, we see these coins here. We found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me count these here just to make sure. 9 Canadian cents, all from about 1999 down to 1968. So no George VI obverses or anything like that. I took a 1970 S because I don't get many S mint marks from where I'm at. And usually I just throw that back. But actually, according to our book, there are 2 varieties for the 1970 S. The 1970 S small date and the large date. How you can tell this is the 7 in 1970 will be more aligned with the 0. And that's how you tell it's a large date. And if it's the small date, well, actually, no, on the large date, the 7's longer than the 0. And on the small date, it's more aligned with the bottom of the 0. The small date is worth quite a premium, about $20 to $30. And the large date's more common. It's only worth about 3 cents to 20 cents. But I'm going to keep it because if I ever do find the small date or something, I will have that in there to illustrate the type. So the 2 varieties for the 1970S, if I ever should find or happen to buy that. I'm probably not going to do either of them. Probably not really going to find one, and most likely not going to buy one. But eyes will be peeled. Among our other find, I believe this is a misstrike. Where you can see the edges of the sort along this edge here is kind of like raised, but the other side isn't. And I believe that this means that it is a die error, basically. So during when and these usually don't bring too much of a premium unless it's a very noticeable mint error, which it is not. I'm not even sure that it is one. My blue coin book that I have, my blue Whitman book, doesn't have anything for misstrikes and errors in it, but my 2020 red book does. I'm going to pull that up real quick just to refresh my memory on what exactly I need to look at. Misstrikes and errors. I believe this is falls under the defective die category. Can't pinpoint a value on that because it's outdated in its retail pricing in that book, so I can't exactly pinpoint a value on it, or even if it even is a misstrike, but I believe that it is because it is very uneven, as you can tell there. So I'm just going to be keeping that just in case it is. And then the last thing that I've been finding is something I've been noticing a pattern. I have 7 cents here from varying dates that have this, not the S mint mark, like below the date for the San Francisco mint, but rather a large S engraved into it as if somebody hand engraved it on there. Now, I have found a penny before with the Freemasons symbol on it, which is basically a society of people that, gather and congregate, and I guess they're just like a religious society or a secret society or something. I couldn't find anything on what these mean, but I found pretty much 7 of them in this box. So they're either from a secret society or they're just somebody messing around, or there could be an issue. I don't know what it is. I think I might keep them just in case I find anything in the future. But anyway, that's that. So I always find some weird things in boxes and some interesting things in our wheat cents. But anyway, that's going to be our box. That is our result. We have 17 wheat cent count. And by the way, all wheat cents are minted out of bronze. Actually, I thought they were copper, but just like the Indian head cents after 1864, they are minted out of bronze. Except for the 1943, when they converted them to zinc-coated steel, because bronze was needed for the war, I believe. So they were using that. But all wheat cents from 1909 all the way up until 1958, except for the year of 1943, are made out of bronze. Now, there were a couple 1943 bronze cents or copper cents, I believe. They are extremely scarce, and they are worth extreme amounts of money. I'm not going to be coming across one of them anytime soon. But anyway, that is that. Anyway, guys, that's me for today's video. So please like, subscribe, so it helps out the Bandit Boy Variety channel. Stay tuned for more of what we're going to be doing. And you also may be wondering if I check for varieties like doubled, things like that. And I do. I usually check for the 1983 DDR, 1984 doubled ear, 1995 DDO. If I find a 1955 wheat cent, check that for the DDO. You can collect the 1992 small and large letters, close and far AM, but those aren't worth very much, so I don't look for those. But yeah, I do look for those, but I have not found any because they're extremely scarce. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's video.